Item 496. Removing structures. 1. Description. Remove and either dispose of or salvage structures. 2. Construction. 2.1 Demolition plans. Follow the demolition sequence shown on the plans for bridge structures to be removed, or submit a demolition plan if indicated on the plans. Include in the required demolition plan the type and location of equipment to be used, the method and sequence of removal of the structural elements, and a narrative indicating the stability of the partially demolished structure is maintained throughout the demolition process. Have these plans signed and sealed by a licensed professional engineer when demolished structure intersects active roadways and as otherwise shown on the plans. Submit required demolition plans at least 14 days before starting work unless otherwise directed. Department approval of these plans is not required, but the department reserves the right to request modifications to the plans when work could affect the safety of the traveling public and when around other transportation facilities to remain in place. Notify the department 30 days before starting any bridge demolition work to allow for required notifications to other agencies. 2.2 Removal. 2.2.1 Pipes. Avoid damaging appurtenances determined by the engineer to be salvageable. 2.2.2 Concrete, brick, or stone structures. Portions of structures that will not interfere with the proposed construction may remain in place 2 feet or more below the permanent ground line. Square off remaining structures and cut reinforcement flush with the surface of the concrete. 2.2.3 Steel structures. Dismantle steel to be retained by the department or re-erected by cold cutting fastener heads and punching or drilling the remaining portion of the fastener, air arc gouging welded connections, and flame cutting beams along a straight line. The engineer may approve other methods of cutting. Cut beams at the locations shown on the plans. Match mark steel to be re-erected with paint in accordance with the erection drawings. Remove steel piles or cut off 2 feet or more below the permanent ground line. 2.2.4 Timber structures. Remove all fasteners from timber determined by the engineer to be salvageable. Remove timber piles or cut off 2 feet or more below the permanent ground line. 2.3 Salvage. Avoid damage to materials shown on the plans to be salvaged. Deliver materials to be retained by the department to the locations shown on the plans. Block up salvaged steel materials off the ground. 2.4 Disposal. Material removed that is not deemed to be salvageable is the property of the contractor. Dispose of removed material off the right-of-way in accordance with federal, state, and local regulations. 2.5 Backfill. Backfill excavation and voids to the original ground line if resulting from the removal of structures. Place backfill that will support any portion of the roadbed or embankment to the same requirements for placing embankment. Backfill other areas in 10 inches layers, loose measurement, and compact to the density of adjacent undisturbed material. 3. Measurement. This item will be measured by each structure or by the foot. 4. Payment. The work performed in accordance with this item and measured as provided under measurement will be paid for at the unit price bid for removing structures of the type of structure specified. This price is full compensation for demolition plan preparation, loading, hauling, disposal, stockpiling, removal of appurtenances, excavation and backfill, equipment, labor, tools, and incidentals.